This is a book presentation for Photography 3, Sustaining Your Practice. The book is called Conflict, Memory and Landscape. It's 13 by 11 inches and matte finish. It starts with a title page, just straighten that out. An introduction which you can read on my website or blog. And then straight into the photographs themselves. This first photograph was taken in Tempsford. A battle took place in 917 AD here with the Vikings, and I wanted to show some of how nature had taken over this beautiful old oak tree, the texture of the bark and the leaves. This next image was taken in Wheathampstead, where a battle took place in 54 BC with Julius Caesar. I want to show some nice depth here with the trees in the foreground. It leads the eye off into this beautiful lit area at the back. My next photograph was taken at Hertford Castle. A battle took place there in 1216 AD during the First Barons' War. The castle wall still stands, but it's very overgrown now, so this makes an interesting juxtaposition between the green and the building. Some very nice texture in there. My next image was taken in Morden. The Battle of Morden took place in 991 AD with the Vikings. The Vikings would have actually crossed here, so it's an important feature in my photograph. I wanted to include quite a bit of sky to give a dreamy effect, almost Turner-esque. Another one at Hertford Castle. I wanted this to be a bit more abstract-y, show the flowers and the plants that had grown over the wall in time. Kind of reminds me of Simon Norfolk and Bleed. We did a lot of abstract-y stuff. My next photograph is in Northampton. The Battle of Northampton took place in 1460 during the War of the Roses. This scene, I just came across it walking back to the car. The trees were aligned nicely and a very nice backlighting. I had to expose for the shadow to get a bit of detail in these tree trunks, but the effect was stunning. Another one taken at Northampton, more minimalistic, kind of a bit like Gursky might do with his large format prints. Very simple. Rule of thirds, lots and lots of detail here if you look closely. Another one taken at Tempsford. The Viking castle would have originally been here. It would have been quite small. You can still see the moat and the bridge. There was a beautiful light again, which really brings out lots of the texture in the trees and leaves. Then we went off to St Albans. The battle here took place in 1461 during the War of the Roses. This was actually the centre of a lot of the fighting. I wanted to capture this. This clock tower was mentioned in historical archives, so I wanted that to be a key feature, and then including some of the people gave a nice contrast to the modern day. Again, another image in St Albans. The museum building is quite prominent. This again is very close to the last image. A lot of bloodshed would have taken place here, so it was an interesting contrast with a peaceful scene. Corpus Christi College in Cambridge. This was attacked and burned during the Peasants' Revolt in 1381. The composition itself, I wanted to really use the grass, to lead the eye into the building, and the light again was just perfect, shining on the building front there. Lots and lots of detail and texture. This again is at Corpus Christi College. I wanted to show a few people in the foreground. Reminds me a little bit of Alger. The main feature is the buildings, the location, but the people kind of had a ghostly feel almost with how they're blurred. An image here taken in Cambridge again, though this is an original one from my body of work, the murder sites. This was taken on medium format film camera, which shows huge amounts of detail when you look closely. This image was taken in Burwell Village, really shows a transformation of a place over time. This originally would have been a very rural location, a barn at the top here which burnt down, killing everyone that was in it, and now a peaceful suburban close. The composition was tricky, but if you look closely, the wires kind of add to the composition leading up to the top corners. Quite interesting. The final image taken in Ramsey in Cambridgeshire. The 27-year-old man was shot and killed here. The place now very quiet and serene, very remote. This former garage sitting in the middle of nowhere, so quite an interesting scene. Reminds me of the new topographics. Beautiful early evening light again, lots of detail in the foreground there. The prints themselves on these pages, very nice finish, matte finish. And that's the end of the book.